All right, guys, welcome back. Coming to you with a bit of a serious video, and it is around the title Prophecies and Dreams. This just lines up with a lot of things that are going on right now. Now, I don't talk about dreams as such, but this one's really significant because it is in line with things that are taking place now in 2023. I'm going to read the dream that I had, but it is where we are right now. But it's the fact that I need to read the dream to you because it's just in line with this nonsense that you are seeing taking place by the World Health Organization. Such a thing that's in place. Why would it not anger the people? I'm going to read let me read, and I'm just going to read it word for word. Now, and I should say, this video is not as PG because of the way that the dream is. So if you got children that are there, you might not want them to be there when listening to this because the dream was graphic. Okay, this dream that I'm about to go and read to you is from the 3rd of July 2020. Now, around this period, I was just getting a lot of dreams that were coming through really thick and fast. So day upon day I was getting a dream, and I'd literally what I started doing, and I would encourage you all to do the same, is literally just put a book next to your bed with a pen and just be ready for whatever will come your way. So what was literally happening is I'd wake up with a very detailed dream. Let me read it to you. 3rd of July 2020. A well-known doctor using manipulation planned to get the rioting started in England using sex, and the fact that the optician presented the wrong glasses. I went to see her. I booked an appointment while waiting in what looked like a public area, like a courtroom. I saw a guy I knew. We waited together. I was thinking constantly that they are planning to get rioting in England, and their plan this time was to use misdiagnosis. I saw the doctor after my friend who went in before me, even though I didn't see him go in because I was taken away to the side of the waiting area. You know, while I'm reading it, I kind of remember it. I remember the details. I remember seeing it. I looked back to see if he was waiting, but he left. I approached the doctor, a white female. She said, "Can I help you?" I said, "I'm waiting to be seen by you." She said, "Okay, like whatever." She's now taking drop-ins. I said, "I booked an appointment." She said, "Okay, 1 second." We went into the office, a big room with many books, and saw my name twice on the waiting list. She asked how she could help. I said, "First, the glasses prescribed are wrong with the wrong lenses." She began typing. She asked, "What else?" I was trying to remember what was next. I then said, "I need gastric tablets." I knew I was going somewhere foreign. She thought to herself, "She knows why I'm here, really." To expose her, she said she wanted to smoke. She didn't mind me being there. She had 3 cigarettes in her mouth. We were then outside, but still at her desk. The night was set and the streets were busy. My eyes were blurry and she was about to test my eyes. She went to get the test kit. So in order to get an accurate test, I took hot water by my 2 fingers and repetitively wiped my eyes till my vision became clear. I could read and see everything. When she came back, she bought white knickers without the crotch. 2 children were sat next to her. She was now a black woman who used to be white before she went shopping. At the same time as she threw the knickers onto me, explaining the buy, a young church girl greeted the doctor. She stood behind me talking to friends now. I knew who she was. I pointed out the obvious, that the crotch wasn't there, and the doctor was made reference of the ease for sex and the crutch will be there for the action. She then spoke to the child on her right how church puts limits on sex, and they were wrong. She was forceful in her views. I knew there was a plan to get the right started through sexual exploitation. More people cared about this cause this time, and the numbers were overwhelming. Earlier, before seeing the doctor, I was speaking to a guy about the system and salvation. They know who I am. I am now a target, and all the believers too. Thank you, Jesus. The next phase of prophecy is about to come to pass. Be prepared for the next 6 months. It is time for a lot to happen. Clear your vision and see clearly. Amen. That was the dream, guys. That was the dream. Absolutely unbelievable. Crazy. I mean, this kind of just stands to reason in and of itself. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God. I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. This is Acts chapter 2, verse 17. What I got, as I said, was back in 2020. Let me show you this video because it kind of just sums it all up really and truly. Check this out, guys.
How about this for an absolute shocker? The Telegraph report that the World Health Organization, who gave us disastrous COVID lockdowns, who sided with China over the lab leak theory, and hopped into bed with obese health guru Bill Gates to roll out vaccine tyranny, now think that 4-year-olds should learn about sex, masturbation, the pleasure their own body can give them, and reflect on what their gender identity might be. 4-year-olds. This is all part of the terrifying woke movement, which has infiltrated our politics, the media, corporations, and our public institutions. At the extreme end, and I'm not making this up, there are figures on the hard progressive left who think paedophiles should be renamed as minor attracted adults for their dignity and their understanding. You heard me right. And whether it's provocative sexualized drag show acts in primary schools, or male woodwork teachers in Canada with their fake tits pouring out all over the place, it seems that woke ideology is deeply perverted and seeks to effectively groom tiny children into questioning whether they are a boy or a girl and sexualizing them from the age of 0. That's right, I kid you not, the WHO guidance to schools, God help us, says that sexuality education starts from birth. If you don't think that's sick, if you don't think that's disgusting, if you don't think that should be illegal, then I can't help you. The World Health Organization can go to hell.
My dream that I got perfectly lines up with where this false narrative is now at and who just happens to be pushing it. World Health Organization. It was rightly termed the World Organization because really and truly what they are doing has nothing to do with health. It's got everything to do with a new world order, a world takeover. Guys, you need to see this for what it is. See what is happening before your face. This is where we are right now. This dream that I got is 3 years old. I mean, there's so much to go and break up through it, and I'm not even going to go and try and interpret it. I'm just going to tell you directly that they're using the children, they are exploiting the children, and it is time for us as a people to stop being silent, to rise up. Now is the time to stand up and say, you know what, no, we need to defend our children. We need to, do you know, the most selfish thing that can be done is to only rise up when it's your child that's going through. Only care when it becomes your child that's suffering. A real heart, because he says to love your neighbor as yourself. A real heart, the real love of God, the real love is when you love others as though you love yourself. You love them as you love yourself. Your child is yourself. Your child is you. You understand? But at the same time, you're loving somebody else's child when you can see that this is what they are doing. And you know, to only rise up when it lands on your doorstep is selfishness. That is when it's too late. Let me just show you this image real quickly, because this is really and truly where we are in this absolute nonsense. This is what it looks like, and I'll explain it. This was an experiment that was carried out. It says on here, Dr. Masaru Emoto's rice and water experiment. So what was done was rice was used and it was placed into 3 containers so that it could be seen, and it was left over a period of time. And to one, positive words were spoken, like love and care was given to that one, and then the other one, attention was given to it in the form of hatred. And it was, as it says on here, it's called "you're an idiot." So things that were not nice were said to that one, and then you had the final jar, which was just completely ignored. No notice was taken of the 3, and it's the craziest thing that took place. The rice that was placed in the jar and was shown love, it flourished, it stayed in the same state, while the rice that was in the other jar that was given hatred, it became malformed and ugly and dark. But then the one that was ignored became worse than even the one that was mistreated. The jar that became worse was the ignored one. Both of them are in a bad state. The fact that nothing nice was said, it caused the rice to have a reaction. But the fact that nothing was said caused it to turn into mush. It became worse than in the state of being spoken to badly. You understand? What's my point in all of this? What is my point? My point is this. You have decided in your heart that you are going to say nothing. You have caused more things to go wrong by your silence than your misspeech. Your misspeech is not even any good. But the fact that you're ignoring the situation altogether has made the situation worse than it could ever be. It would have been better that you were speaking life, you were there, and you were confronting the situation that is before you. Here we are right now with this boulder that is beyond the boulder that's rolling. Children are in detrimental danger. And it seems like the only time that you're going to go and open your mouth is when it's too late, when it's landing on your doorstep. But the reality of the matter is it's landing on people's doorstep right now, and we're supposed to be our brother's keeper. Your silence, your ignorance is deadly and poison. That's the reason why I'm highlighting this, and I want you to understand this. This situation that we are facing right now is where it is the boulder that's rolling because of your absolute silence. This is a dangerous thing that we're facing. This evil that we're dealing with can only be overcome by our coming together. We will overcome this. Let me go and give you this. So this is from the book of Esther, chapter 4, and it's in relation to where Mordecai, who was her uncle, and he got word that there's been a decree that's gone out for the Jews to be annihilated, to be killed. Esther, who Mordecai is the uncle to Esther, so he now is going to her to go and speak to the king to go and change this decree that is being set up. From verse 11 it says, all the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that, this is Esther speaking, do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter. and that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, if you keep your mouth closed at this time, if you say nothing at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed, and who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Do you understand? Don't think that you're going to escape because you decided that you're going to say nothing. Don't think because you decided to distance yourself from all of the suffering that's taking place in this world. I'm talking to you people right now that call yourselves people that love the Lord and love people and love life, and you love your children, and you just want to just celebrate and do all this nonsense and say you're doing so much, but you can't be seen anyway. Don't think for a second, for 1 second, that deliverance won't come, but it's going to not go and land on your doorstep in the worst way. A worse thing could come to you just because you chose to say nothing. This is a serious time that we are in. Children are in danger. Whole families are in danger. People are being taken out, and it's only because it hasn't landed on your doorstep is the reason why you're silent. Are you being for real? Someone actually said, how do I know that? I'm talking about Christians now. I'm talking about Bible believing Christians in my area, people that are in church, in their buildings, doing their thing. How do I know that they are not mixing? I says, because I'm out there. I'm out there saying I can't judge. I can't judge. Yeah, I can. I'm telling you that they're not out there. Zero. I'm not saying that people out there aren't believers, you know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that there aren't believers that are out there. But what I'm saying is the pastors, the congregants, those that are in church on a Sunday, on a Saturday, those guys are not out there. How do I know? I'm not around everyone. Well, I've been to the marches. I've been to the various marches. I've been to them. I've been around over 1 million people, and in that circle, I ain't seen people that are from church that, oh yeah, you know what, this is what we went and did on Sunday. There's been no talk. There's been silence when all these things that are taking place have been happening. As you all know, he's now the late great Dr. Rashid Buttar has now been expired. He was on a program the day before, and the day after he was no more. Within that program, he actually spoke more about God than he like he himself says. It's the most he's spoken about God, which was just really, really weird. And the day after, his life was expired. Suddenly. Do you understand? Suddenly. And yet, the silence continues. This absolute boulder has gone too far. It has gone too far. People that are hearing this, I beg of you, in the name of the Lord, I beg you, let's come together. You that's in church, come together. You that's in your mosque, come on and hear. Come to the meetings, come to the protests, come to the marches, join the people. Let's come together in these last days. These last days are dark. They are coming after the children, and there are people that are crying out. This thing stops when we all come together and say no more. Let's come together and let's all say no more to this tyranny that is taking place. Like I says, get yourself a book, put it next to your bed with a pen, and get ready for the dreams that are coming. The next few months are going to be very ridiculous. And you guys who have stood up and have never stopped, be prepared, because there's going to be a lot of wickedness that's going to land on doorsteps now. These people are implementing their new world order plan, and we need to be ready. Love the Lord with all your heart and be prepared. Eyes need to be open and ears need to be hearing. The time is at hand. We are in end times. Guys, love you. Take care of yourselves. All right? Talk to you again.
Yeah, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I'm still here fighting, still here standing for the truth, hoping that my words will strike like lightning. I have to stay focused, this world's looking hopeless. They got us in a stranglehold, they're trying to choke us. More than 3 years we've been dealing with this, to the point they leave us broken in mental bliss. And they're taking everything that we see. We allowed it to happen every time we were bending the knee. Now they're raising all the prices, treating us like terrorists, we ain't ISIS. I'm watching the TV preparing for the next crisis. What play they make up, gonna ignite this, stripping us down to our element, even go as far as insulting our intelligence. No matter what they do, we got to stay relevant. I see you there, hiding all the evidence, and surely the truth is revealing. And he will set us free from the things that they're stealing. My people crying out for a healing. We're praying, Lord Jesus, return all the feelings, so that one day we can all bask in the Sunday, with all our kids running round on the fun day. It's a long time coming, the future's what we make it. No matter everything that they do to try and break it, we're still standing side by side, hand to hand, and weather the storm umbrella, we're still planning to free the nation. Wake up the congregation and stand on the solid rock and foundation. Creation, a beautiful star with a hectic end, a perfectly straight line ends in a twisted bend. I credit that line to one of my oldest friends, and it still holds true today. No matter what they say, we're rolling like Kid and Play, and like Jay-Z, man. Yo, what more can I say? Till you're getting the veracity, staying on point, increasing the velocity. And like Aristotle, I speak with philosophy, trying to rewrite every wrong of atrocity. I know I gotta do more. We're fighting for the poor and afflicted, the bums on the corner addicted. The things that they're doing are scripted for their agenda, but while we're here, no retreat, no surrender. We're preparing for the war, like Corey says, Babylon's going to fall. So start acting jittery. What side of history will you leave your legacy? Hatred, jealousy, all your thoughts are enmity. And I'ma wreck Christ as long as I'm still breathing, while y'all standing still like babies that start teething, regurgitating crap every second. Y'all ain't learning your lesson. How many more heart attacks would it take till your people bright-eyed and awake? No more dreaming, sticking every jab in your arm like y'all fiending. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, a bad decisions, criminal acts, increasing the tax. And I'm here just expounding the facts to my people, preparing for the things that are coming that are evil. People, the time is at hand. Fight the good fight, reclaim the land. No more taking the things that they're doing. It's been years, but we remain through it. Stay vigilant, see the evil. Iron sharpen the iron of my people. This truth, yo, we gotta defend, even if it means our end.